Hi everybody, this is College Advisor Maya back with another video. So today we're just going to talk about college costs and just the different things that go into the cost of college. It's a really big concern that everyone has, and of course everyone doesn't, they hear all the stories about being in debt and nobody wants to be in debt. But there's also not that many like full ride scholarships out there either. So we're just going to kind of break down just the cost of college and like what to really look for when you are thinking about how much a college costs and if it's a good option for you. So there's lots of different resources. I'm just going to go through a few things on our website first and then look up some other information. All right, so this is our college advising website. What you're going to want to do is scroll down over here to paying for college. So there are many ways to pay for college. Most students, pretty much all students, use a combination of scholarships, grants, loans, work study, and personal savings to pay for college. Check out these resources to start thinking about your options. So these are some really helpful checklists that I got from the College Board Big Future website. So you can definitely look at these just to see like just a timeline of how things are supposed to go throughout your year, just in terms of, financial aid things. But this is the big one that I wanted to look at. So just understanding college costs. It's a nice little infographic that I think is really helpful. So there's these are different ways. So just paying for college, just learning the different ways you can pay for college. So there's free money. So that's the scholarships and grants. This is what you would get from the FAFSA, so the free application for federal student aid. That is where you would know if you qualify for scholarships, or not for scholarships, but for grants, as well as loans. But scholarships is free money. You can get those from anywhere that's like local, national, or the college themselves will give you scholarships. Your money, so any sort of money that you have in your savings account, your parents' savings account, for those of you Casey scholars that have savings accounts, that money. Work study is when you're able to work an on-campus job at the college, and then your money can be used to be for yourself or and for like using it just to pay down your bills and things, and then just having like a regular job, part-time job somewhere either on campus or off campus to help pay for things. And then other money, so loans, this is the loans that you would have to pay back to the loan provider. So federal student loans, this is where you would take the FAFSA into consideration. They'll tell you how much you qualify for in loans. And then there's private loans, so this can be offered through like banks and different places like that. So that's a good resource, just like understanding the different ways they go into how to pay for college. And then when you're looking at how much a college costs, this is a comparison worksheet that can be downloaded from our website. So here are the things that go into how much a college costs. Yep, that is me. Okay. So tuition. So when you say you're at a college fair, or you're at a visit where admissions representative has come to your school, and you say, how much is tuition? And they tell you, oh, tuition's only $10,000. That is not the full price. If they tell you the tuition is only $10,000, that does not mean that the college is only $10,000. That's just tuition. Tuition is just the amount of money that you're paying for the classes that you're taking. You still have to think about room and board, which is your housing and your meal plan. So that's a separate cost. Books and supplies, these are all separate things. Transportation, so that's if you have a car and you go to college that's like 2 or 3 hours away, then you'll have to, you're driving back and forth to come home and stuff. That's just gas money. Miscellaneous and personal, this is like you're buying a laptop, you're buying new clothes, new shoes, you're buying stuff for your room, a microwave, decorations. This is like literally anything that's like just personal costs. Additional costs, that's like extra things for the school. So say you do take a car to school, you have to pay for a parking pass to have your car on campus. So that's like an additional cost depending on if your situation, if you have a car or maybe you have some other random thing. So like you're an art major, so you have to go and buy art supplies. That's an additional cost. So all of these things go into the total cost of attendance. So this sheet is for you to fill out So, Mizzou, UMKC, K-State, KU, boom. And you can just go to their websites and just fill this out for yourself. So that way you can have like a side-by-side comparison of how much each of those colleges cost. And then estimated financial need. So their expected family contribution, that's going to be based on the FAFSA whenever you do the FAFSA. So say the college costs $20,000 and then your EFC number, expected family contribution number, is 0, then that means your total financial need would be the $20,000. So that's how you calculate that. That's how colleges get those numbers when they're looking at how much financial aid to give you. It's based on how much they cost, how much they think you can contribute, and then they subtract that, and then that's the number. You're not going to get a full 20,000, but some colleges do offer 100% of that number that's left over. And this is where you would put in like your FAFSA information, so that way you know exactly how much money you're coming into, what other scholarships, how much money in scholarships you have, how much money you can make on work study, how much money you make in loans, and then you just kind of add all these numbers up, how much the college costs, how much money in scholarships, loans, grants, and work study you have, and then whatever number is left over, that's the actual amount of money that you be paying. So a big thing to think about with, A big thing to think about with college cost is that there's the sticker price, which you may or may not hear. There's the sticker price, and then there's the actual price. So the sticker price is that's the number, like a college costs $30,000. That's the sticker price. The actual price is going to be this number. Oh, not that one. This number down here. So if it costs $30,000 and then you have $25,000 worth of scholarships, financial aid, and loans, and grants and loans, and work study and stuff, then that only leaves you with $5,000. That's how much the college actually costs, is only $5,000 for you personally. If your friend says that it costs them $10,000, they have a different amount of scholarships and financial aid and stuff than you. Only worry about your actual financial situation. So this is the actual cost of the college, is the amount that you have to pay after all your scholarships and loans and financial aid and everything is already put together towards that total number. That is that. This is a great game to play, just to kind of give you some insight on how much things actually do cost and how much debt that you could have just going through like a normal college life. A nice thing that I like on our website is our cost estimator. So here's some, kind of like a guide on different definitions of things. And these are for all the KC Scholars partner schools. So if you're considering one of the schools that's partnered with KC Scholars, yes, this is me. Then you can look on here. So let's say you're thinking about going to Baker. Baker's a private school. So this is going to be an estimate of how much you would pay to go to Baker. So their tuition is $29,000. Their room and board is $8,000. Books and supplies estimated at about $1,200. So that puts you at about $39,000 in total. And then this is your estimated financial aid. So say you do the FAFSA and your expected contribution is 0, your EFC number is 0, then these are some numbers that you could possibly get in the amount of financial aid. And then if you do have the KC Scholar Scholarship, that's $10,000. So total aid would be about $23,000. This would be an estimate amount of how much you would qualify in loans. So your estimate financial aid would be $29,000, and then we said right here that Baker cost about $39,000. So then that would put you. So if this is the number that you would have to pay if you didn't take out any loans. So you'd have $15,000 left over to figure out what type of scholarships or work or out-of-pocket money you'd have to pay to pay that number. And then if you did take the loans, you'd have about $10,000 left to pay if you were wanting to go to Baker. So this is a really helpful chart if you're living on campus, off campus, and then if you're in state. So Baker is in Kansas. So if you live in Kansas, this would be the amount. If you live in Missouri, out of state, this would be the amount. Since Baker is a private school, the tuition is the same across the board. So, but the chart is still helpful for other schools that have in-state and out-of-state. For example, K-State. K-State is in Kansas. If you live in Kansas, it's going to cost you about $10,000 for tuition. If you do not live in Kansas, it's going to cost you about $25,000 for tuition. So definitely something that you want to think about. But this right here on our website, on the paying for college page, you can go to this chart, open it up, and see the differences in the different college costs. And this right here, colleges that will cover 100% of unmet need. So unmet need, so that's the amount that's left over. So how much the college costs, how much you can contribute, how much your need is. So that need number, these colleges will cover that 100%. So let's say you want to go to Columbia University. Columbia University costs $30,000. Your family can contribute $0. Columbia will cover that $30,000 because that's how much money you need. So if you click on this, it should open up a website with that list. You can't click on each individual college just because of the way that the link works. So you can just find that list here. This kind of gives you an explanation of what that means up here. And then here's the list of colleges, and then it'll take you to their financial aid websites, and you can learn more about how they pay for everything for students. So if you're interested in any of these schools, I'd highly recommend just checking out to see what type of financial aid stuff that they offer whenever you have some time. And then the net price calculator, I won't get too much into this because it's a little bit confusing. So this is kind of like a practice FAFSA in a way. So every single college has a net price calculator, and it's going to ask you questions like, how much money did you make this year? How much money did your parents make? And then it's going to do its own calculation and let you know, like, okay, our college costs this much, and based on how much your parents make, this is how much we think, you would have to pay, and this is how much we could give you in scholarships. So it's like a FAFSA, a mini FAFSA for each college if you just want to get like specific numbers for that place. Something I skipped over, College Scorecard is a great website to go to if you want to compare. So you can use this sheet if you want to do all the work yourself, but then, there's a lot of more in-depth information that's more personal to you. You know how much money you have and how much money in scholarships you have. But comparing, if you just want to know number to number, you can look up multiple schools using College Scorecard, and it'll give you like an estimate. There's some other good information on there too, like it'll show you like the salaries after graduation, the typical amount of debt the students have after they leave, and then like another, like just some more breakdown information too about the colleges. So that's our website page. So highly recommend looking through there and finding some great information on how much colleges cost. If for whatever reason, you don't want to use our website, you can always just go directly to the college's website, which is what I've been telling you all along. Just go to the college's website. That's where the most up-to-date and accurate information is going to be. So we're going to start with Mizzou, since a lot of people like Mizzou. So right here on admissions, the admissions page, you can find out how much things cost at Mizzou. So this is based on students enrolling in 14 credit hours, which 14 or 15 is like the average amount that most students take per semester. So if you live in Missouri, your tuition, $12,000, housing, $10,000, books, about $1,000, boom, Mizzou costs $24,000 as an estimate cost. There's still, a couple fees and some other things in there that don't get included, but $24,000 is the number that is presented here. And then for non-Missouri residents, so University of Missouri is in Missouri. So if you live in Kansas, you would have to pay a higher tuition rate. Housing is the same, books and supplies is the same, about $41,000 in total. So a lot of different things that go into there. But you can find out more by clicking the cost of attendance page. So this is going to give you some more information. So personal expenses, transportation expenses, and those things are estimates. So just to make sure. So tuition and fees, and then housing. So let's go back to this other chart. There's direct costs, and then there's indirect costs. So directly, you're paying this money directly to Mizzou. Indirectly, you're paying for books. And then let's go back here. Books, transportation, personal, additional things. These are all things that you're paying for. So those numbers are estimates when colleges put them on their website. So Mizzou might say you're paying $1,000 for books, but then if you buy your books on Amazon or eBay, or you have a friend that went there last year and took that class and kept their books, so you get it for free, those numbers are going to be a little bit different. But the numbers that are going to be the same for everybody are these right here: tuition, housing, and dining. So you just find this information right here on Mizzou's website. Go to their cost of attendance website to get some more details on a breakdown. And then I chose Wichita State because Wichita State's a cool school. Same thing, here's tuition, here's how much it is for Kansas, here's how much it is for non-Kansas residents. Student fees, so this goes into you going to the gym, athletic tickets, health services, other things like, you know, the newspaper, the computer lab, those type of things are associated with fees. So this is semester breakdown, this is the year breakdown. Parking, optional if you have a car, and then room and board, here's the different options that you have for living on campus. They're all kind of similar. And then an estimate for books. So this is like, it doesn't have the total number, but you can kind of just do some math in your head or on a calculator to see what the total amount would be for Wichita State. A cool thing about Wichita State, just a fun fact, and it's something that you need to look at. So if you live in Missouri or if you live in Kansas and you're thinking about going to a school that's in the other state or any state, if you want to go to school in Oklahoma or Arkansas or California or wherever, always make sure you look for tuition discounts. This is going to be a really big factor, which is one of the main reasons I like Wichita State, is because they have discounts for students that live in Missouri. So if you live in one of these counties, which the majority of you, so Cass, Clay, Jackson, and Platte are part of Kansas City metropolitan area, then you qualify for a discounted tuition rate. So the Shocker Partnership are the nearest cities closest to Wichita. So this qualifies you for a different rate. So you don't have to pay the full non-resident amount. So that's something to keep in mind when you're looking at colleges, especially colleges that aren't in the state that you live in, just to see if they have some sort of tuition. It's usually, when colleges have tuition discounts, they're usually for states that are like right next to them. So if you live in Missouri, check out Arkansas, Idaho, Oklahoma, Iowa, Nebraska. Do I know my states? This is Illinois. So just checking out different things and then going from there. So do those. And then this is just another one, just one more example. Lincoln has a lot of different things on here for their different types of students, the different fees. Activities has all their fees listed. So activity fees, building fees, golf lab fees, health insurance fees, the application fee, the enrollment fee is $300 for new students that are staying on campus. So just keep in mind all the different like fees that you'd have to pay. And then here's a breakdown of like all their housing opportunities and options. So every college has something different. So you can go straight to the college's website, or you can use, the college scorecard and kind of do it that way. But either way it goes, if you want to know how much a college costs, just look it up. The numbers are somewhere, the answers are somewhere, and just try to do as best as you can to just keep it where it's tuition, housing, and those are going to be like your main things that you pay for, your direct costs. Everything else is going to be an estimate, so don't get too scared if it says it's $30,000, but then half of that is just miscellaneous personal costs. So yeah, that's really it on college costs. Just make sure you do as much research as you can, and then we, the college advisors, we are always here to help you out with everything. So you can use us as a resource, use our website, use the college's website. I wouldn't say Google it, because Google's going to pull up like 10,000 different search results, and some of those numbers might be accurate. So I'd say just going straight to the college's website would be the best when you want to know how much a college costs. But yeah, let us know if you have any questions, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. Bye.